All right, we're live here on this Saturday. Epstein, Black Book, names exposed, and much, much more. The biggest cover up ever. Hello, everybody. I am Sal. Come on in, come on in. Let's go. Let's talk. Let's talk. A lot to cover tonight. A lot to cover, Laughs. Mike, how are you? Appreciate you being here, Hector. Good to see you on this Saturday. I am back from camp. But we're gonna cover the Epstein. For me, I'm gonna continue to cover it at least once or twice a week. I was discussing with my wife and other people. I got some information, guys, that's gonna really blow your mind. Janine, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. And John, what's going on, John? Appreciate you being here. Diddy, Epstein, Clinton, Trump, Democrats, Republican, Bush too, Hillary. My stomach is turning when I'm hearing for a good friend of mine back in the day, and racketeer charge, gangster, what he's telling me, and he's a Trump supporter. Will blow your mind, and you're not going to hear it on many other channels. So come on, we got to talk. What is that right there? Well, there was victims speaking out. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go any farther, I'm going to try to stay out of this one. I'm going to give you what I know, what I'm hearing from people who are in the jail with Epstein. This has been going back, and I think that the Democrats and Republicans want it to go away. But these victims should never let it go. I'm going to continue to talk about it, and they will need 5 armies to come after me. Five armies come after me, because these poor girls, it could be your niece, your daughter, your granddaughter. It doesn't matter. And we deserve answers to these Epsteins. And I'm getting pissed off the more I'm here. Now, this is what I'm hearing. Now, I want to get into today's video. Right now, Trump is, this all's going to have to do with this. So stay with me on this. Trump is, my sources, he's going to be in Alaska meeting with Putin. And Zelensky's going to be out of it. And they're getting closer to the end of war. Well, that's good. And I'm really optimistic it's going to happen. So that's good news. A lot of people are going to say it's a distraction to let the Epstein files kind of go away as we got preseason football. Yeah, my son's watching it, football games already. And I don't know if that's the full case. Regardless, if we can end this war, less people dying. And whether you support Trump or not. Again, Trump is doing more than any president. However, this stuff right now, these victims that are coming out and talking, can destroy the Democrats, Republican voters for a very long time. Guys, this is the biggest cover-up ever. I know a lot of people are saying, it's not that important to me, Sal. And that's fine. I get it. It's important to me. Big time. I'm going to read this super chat real quick. Good evening, Sarah. A little extra in the donation this week. Thanks for all you do. Neo, thank you so much for all your donations. I appreciate you. And it definitely puts a smile on my face and Maribel's face as we can greatly use that. We had some great sponsorships last night with Paulie, and Ozzy, and some others supporting this channel. If you're new to the channel, if you could do our channel a great big favor and hit the like, subscribe if you haven't. Come on board. We're going to stay live for about an hour. I want to say thank you to the moderators being here today. Mike M, Janine. I think Lemon J will be here, and Crystal, and many others, as we cover the hottest topics on the news. But at the end of the day, we help out the homeless when we can. And then today, we're going to talk a lot about Maxwell, Diddy, and then we're going to talk about what's going on with Trump. But Epstein files, everybody wants to know what the hell's going on. And it's not going to go away. Now, the war, if Trump ends this war, and I think he will. I very well think he will. And we all should be supporting that. Will that kind of like get that black book and everybody forget about it? No. There is nothing that can actually let this disappear unless what I'm hearing from my source, and it's a mega source, Trust me, guys, you don't have to believe me. Let me look in the camera. I can't give out the name, but from my mega source, you ready for this? There's a good possibility, I know, my heart's dropping, that Trump will pardon Diddy. What are we talking about? Diddy? How's that connected with this? Well, sex trafficking and all that. Reason is, remember, Diddy supported Trump, then he didn't support him. For me, I'm real, guys. I'm what I am. I'm a Trump supporter. I believe he's the best candidate, best for us. There's a couple of things where I can lose trust in him. Pardoning Diddy, I don't know yet. If he does pardon Maxwell, in Italian, I go like this. I don't think it's actually going to happen. But if if Trump pardons Diddy, it will be a complete reverse distraction. You see, ending the war is big. By the way, ending the war, that's great. But a distraction in the sense, Diddy gets pardoned by Donald Trump? All of a sudden, Democrats, MAGA, Trump, Republicans, all kind of like wander away for the Epstein. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. I'm going to get into this really deep and talk about a little bit of racketeering and mob days. The government is way worse than any kind of legal, illegal, and I don't encourage any kind of mob or any kind of stuff like that. But for Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever her name is, to get a 20-year sentence, reduced now, what I'm hearing, possibly get house arrest. Oh, yeah. And people who do racketeering and back in the 70s get life? What's wrong with this system? Government has failed us. Yes, I'm a little upset tonight because I talked to a good friend, and he's a Trump supporter. Most of these people are Trump supporters, and it's not that they're against Trump. They're just pissed off because we want answers. And by the way, I'm going to say this again. Trump has nothing, he would not, anything to do with these young ladies, okay? He was not ever out of the island. Bill Clinton is a possibility, he was at the Epstein Island. At this island right here. Bill Clinton was there. However, just my opinion, even if Bill Clinton was there, it doesn't make Bill Clinton guilty. So, right now, here's what happened. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. This has been going on from Bush too. And when Trump says it's a distraction from the Democrats, he's right. But it actually started with Bush too. It's covered up by the Republicans, right? Then the Clintons. And reason why this wasn't exposed, guys, we've talked about this many times, is why. It wasn't exposed because there's both Democrats and Republicans possible in that black book that's in my thumbnail. And I'm not saying Clinton, Trump, or even any president. I would hope that no president was on there. But a senator, a governor, a mayor, and that's the reason why the Democrats didn't want to pull it out. First of all, they knew they had nothing on Trump. A, we talked about this a million times. But two, they made this deal. Hey, Trump, we know there's Republicans. Let's face it, guys. These guys are all cahoots. Let's be honest, guys. Republicans and Democrats, can we agree on something? They're all cahoots together. They are. Now, I've said this. Trump has got us in the right direction, and I still believe that. Maribel's shaking her head. He's the best we have, but they're all cahoots. If Trump would have unraveled all this back, it opens up a lot of crap. This should have been opened up with the Bush. And they just handed over that black book over and over and over. Pam Bondi, we talked about miscommunication. Pam Bondi, Donald Trump. The Democrats don't want to bring it out because why? First of all, they know they had nothing on Trump on the election, and they know there's big names. They know there's names on their side, Democrats. They know Bill Clinton possibility is on that list. Don't make him guilty. They know possibly, yes, a woman, Hillary, could be on that list. Why not? Because you know why? Ghislaine Maxwell was also allegedly massaging. On YouTube, I can say, I think, Maribel, massaging these poor, beautiful young ladies. They're now young adults. So, and many, many more Democrats and Republicans. And that's the reason, guys. Why don't people just say the truth? That's the reason. I don't know if we're going to get the 150 names in that book. But I got to tell you one thing. I don't want to see a house arrest. If there's a house arrest, if Maxwell gets a house arrest, and there's people out there who do less crime than her, friends of yours, neighbors of yours, people we know, they get life to prison. And this lady, sex trafficking, buying women, little girls, Maribel, in Eastern Europe. That breaks my heart. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. Buying these, and she gets a 20-year sentence. First of all, she got life. And now she's on 3. Now she's in we talked about this. She's in Texas in this camp. Basically a camp where she can do pretty much anything she wants. Nobody's going to hurt her, no threat. And now they're talking house arrest. This is the biggest cover-up for me ever. I'll tell you why. I know JFK is important for all of us, President of the United States. I know there's a lot of things that come to your head. You can disagree with me. Go ahead. I appreciate it. But this is involving children, Maribel. These were kids. These were kids. Could have been your daughter, your niece, your granddaughter. Horrible. At both sides are covering this up. Again, if you're just coming in, I don't think Trump is guilty. I don't think Clinton is guilty. I don't think they would do anything like that. There's no way possible. There's already been, Maxwell already said that Bill Clinton never went to the island. And even if you don't believe her, there's no tracking. But there is tracking of Bill Clinton. But what I'm pissed off about is the government. When I say the government, the Republicans with Bush, the Republicans with Clinton and the Democrats, both sides covering this shit up. This is horrible. And I'm not going to let it go away. And my wife's looking at me. This is involving, this is cover up. This needs to be talked about. Everybody should be talking about this. We deserve answers to victims. So now they're coming out. So now this one victim came out and she said that she didn't mention anything about Trump. She didn't say anything about Clinton. She was 14 at the time. And she just said this: I was on the island. I was drug in. I was abused by narcotics. Held me down. There was men with suits. There was people speaking different languages. Israel. And by the way, blackmail. Blackmail. We're going to talk about blackmail, but before I do, that young lady hearing that now, maybe she's over-exaggerating a little bit, but not everything. That's a shame. And men in suits, people from other languages. And they asked her, well, did you see anybody that you see now as president? She was 14 at the time. She says, no. No, sir. But she goes, I want answers. I want answers, she says. So the camping trip was good, Mike. Probably my last time. It was very, very hot when I went to bed. Mike, thanks for asking. And stuffy at 1:30 in the morning. It was really warm up. A lot better than Vegas. And then it cooled down a little bit. I appreciate everybody tuning into my camping trip. I had a lot of fun. But I think that might be it for a little bit. LGBT for Trump is in the house. I hear you. Good to see you guys. Yeah, guys, I'm a little fired up tonight because I'm hearing more and more from people that I know, my sources that were in prison at the time with Epstein, and and their versioning of it. And everybody I'm talking to, Republicans, Democrats, all types of people are all saying the same. Man, we need justice and justice for all. No horses, Uncle Charlie. We had no horses this time. Thank goodness. I washed all the dishes, Uncle Charlie. Made sure that everything was leftovers in a bag. I dumped it. Oh, no. No horses ain't going to be on me. Hell no. Now, I appreciate you guys coming in. We're looking here at the Jeffrey Epstein Island where a lot of, by the way, this woman, Whiskey Tango 1953, what's going on? This woman, Maxwell, evil. Complete evil. Brian, how are you? Absolutely, Ozzy. Keep our lock up. Yes, laughs. Appreciate it. Leave your hat at the Goodwill. Yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We have 362 in the chat. We got some small people, little people in here, aka trolls. Just ignore them, guys. And but right now you're looking at the Epstein Island, and I got to tell you, can you believe this has been going on since the Bush years? Bush handed off to the Clinton over and over, and it's just not going away. I just gave you the reason. Now we're gonna get into blackmail in a little bit. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Not a bad hat from the Goodwill, right? Boy, my brother-in-law will be pissed right now. My wife's brother, he got me this hat. Let me get some water. I want to talk about blackmail. Blackmail. I don't understand why. We all know. I mean, I'm going to give you guys exactly what's going on here. The Israel Prime Minister. For those who are new, some of you I talked about this, but it's a little different, so stay tuned. The Israel Prime Minister before Netanyahu. I don't trust him either. This man was on the island 100%. Not guilty because there's no evidence right now of him participating in these horrific crimes with YouTube, sexual with these young ladies. But he was there. Now, here's where the blackmail comes in at. For me, Jeffrey Epstein had stuff on the Prime Minister of Israel. There's no doubt in my mind. He had some shit on him. He had some stuff on Bill Clinton that he could have pulled out. Well, let's be honest, guys. He probably had a little something on Trump. I don't mean about being on the island, he had so much stuff he could have threatened him with when he was there at Trump and Mar-a-Lago a few times. Who knows? He had a little bit of everything. Absolutely, guys. Let's be honest. He knew a little bit about everything. The Bush, the Clintons, and Hillary. He had a little bit on every one of them. Okay? He knew, and he had stuff on Israel. This is a lot bigger than you guys think. Okay? Nothing to do with recently of Trump taking out the nukes of Iran. Separate stuff. Okay? This has nothing to do with the price of eggs. But he had a lot, and that's why, for me, in my opinion, he did not commit blank. Okay? With YouTube, I got to be very careful. So, for me, it was a homicide. And the sources and people I know, they were there. They weren't prison guards. They were in there. And they said there was some weird stuff happening. We talked about this. Now, I don't know. CIA. Let me talk about the CIA. The CIA wanted their cut, just like the mob days back in the day. Everybody wants sfozzles and a cut. CIA was also in on this. Guys, there's no doubt. Otherwise, we would have had the list. We would have had that book right here. We would have had right here. We would have had it. It would have been out long time ago. Biggest cover-up ever. And the more days and weeks go on, and I know they're saying on the 15th, this guy right here, evil man, this piece of shit right here, evil, Maxwell, to get away with that, taking these young ladies, purchasing and buying these ladies from Eastern Europe over the United States and bringing them to an island and have a showdown with some of these politicians and senators and government, movie stars and top-notch people. And we're supposed to sit back, but now the victims are starting to come out. One by one, the victims are coming out. And this woman, Maxwell, should be sentenced back. I don't care what the hell kind of name she gives. For me, she should be getting 20 years, nothing more, 17 years left, whatever her sentence. But that's it, too. CIA was definitely one of their cuts. CIA said, hey, hold on. We're going to expose this. You're not going to let this go. And they said, whoa. Here's your cut. Dirty business. So what's the difference between that and the mob? No difference at all. No difference at all. The Democrats do it. The Republicans do it. As we get older, we realize they're all the same. But I will say this. For me, Trump has nothing to do with it. Nothing. But again, if you're just coming into my channel, he's fumbled the ball 2.5 times. And now we're all supposed to wait till August 15. Why? Why? And then all of a sudden, by coincidence, after DOJ, she gets sent into a non-violent camp in Texas. That's suspicious to me. Very suspicious. Now, what do you want to talk about? Diddy. So now Diddy, he's another one. He got a slap on the wrist too, Diddy. So Diddy, if it's true what I heard today for a very, very close friend in charge of a Republican Party, big time, who's a diehard Trump, said this. He goes, Sal, what do you think about Diddy getting pardoned? I said, I heard that. I said, is he going to do that? He goes, I'm telling you, I'm hearing it. I said, he can't. He said, well, it's not Maxwell, Sal, it's Diddy. It don't matter. You can't pardon this guy. Yes or no? Should Diddy get pardoned? And the second part, if Diddy does get pardoned, does that ruin Trump's legacy? Yes or no? I don't know. No? I mean, if it's true, I'm telling you what I'm hearing. I don't think he should get pardoned. Particularly this, guys. It was the same thing. Sex trafficking, right? Basically the same stuff that I don't even want to discuss on here, what he did. And he only got charged for pretty much nothing. To pardon somebody like that, if Donald Trump pardons, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it'd be a big change, I think. It would be pretty bad to all Americans. It would really change a lot of stuff. It would change everything for me. The world is so screwed up. Yeah, I mean, it is a shame because you know why? Trump has done, let's be honest, Trump has done more. I want to be honest. He's done more than any president, any governor. And again, and I'm not saying he didn't do it because I'm a Trump supporter. There's no proof. Now, but if Trump somehow doesn't want to unravel this soon, you know, I gotta tell you, it's gonna hurt some of his legacy. And you know what's gonna hurt? As a Republican, I don't want this mess of the Democrats getting involved in the future. You know, until they clean up their huge mess. I'm not gonna get into it. It's just not. Americans don't trust them. Americans aren't trusting Republicans anymore. That's why Trump won on a landslide, because we finally had a businessman, not a politician, you know, guy who drops the F word a few times that a lot of women don't like and some men don't like. Yeah, but, you know, he's what you see, what you get. But I got to tell you, if he pardons Diddy, I go like this. Let's hope that the guy I talked to today who didn't have a beer or a drink, he looked me in his eye and goes, Sal, I said, should I talk about it? He goes, yeah. And my heart dropped. Because I feel that either one of them should go. Matter of fact, I'm going to go a little farther. I'm tired of all these pardons on both sides. Dr. Fauci getting pardoned. I'm not ignoring our topic. Dr. Fauci getting a pardon. Guys, I'm going to have a live coming up, and I got to get a little bit more information. That guy, Dr. Fauci, a piece of shit. Everything about what happened, the lockdown, we're going to be talking about that real soon. I don't think these pardons should never happen. Forget about it, these pardons. Who the hell are they to pardon people? I'm sick of it. Biggest cover-up ever. Every time I hear more and more about it. But ladies and gentlemen, that, if he did pardon Diddy, actually, it could let this go to sleep a little bit. I don't know. What do you think? Because now, all of a sudden, now the media, the news outlets, the Democrats, the Republicans all be talking about that. And maybe that will be, stay with me, a kind of way to get rid of that black book. because the Democrats, Republicans, all the way from Bush. So you had the Bush Republican, Clinton Democrat, Obama piece of shit Democrat, administration run by a committee Democrat. So you have both sides, and then Trump as a Republican. It would really, I gotta tell you, the next generation, like my kids, I talk to people in their 20s and 30s, you know what they're saying? We don't want to vote anymore. I said, are you for the Democrats? No way. Socialism, we don't want that. Oh, are you Republican? I don't trust them. Where are we heading at, guys? Where are we heading? Are we ever going to get the truth behind the government? JFK, but this is bigger than that when it's involving kids. The more I think about it, it upsets me so many ways. How in the world can they let this go? How could they put their heads on that pillow and not give us a little information? Not just for us, but for the victims, as these young ladies are speaking out. Now, some young ladies are going to speak out, unfortunately. My prayers, and it hurts me to hear that stuff happen with these young ladies. But unfortunately, you're going to have a few come out, let's just be honest, who don't like Trump. And they're going to say this, that, whatever. It's going to happen. And there's going to be some who just don't like Democrats. Let's be honest. And they're going to say this, that, whatever, too. Right? I know. I'm just saying, guys. It's just the way her generation is. But the woman who's speaking, the woman who came out today, was it today, Maribel? She was like, they asked her about president. She says, no. She said, men's in suit, different language and stuff. That woman there, man, that worries me a little bit. And I think I agree with that with the CIA. What do you guys think? You think the CIA got a cut? You think the Secret Service, do you believe that the FBI and CIA would just say, and let this go to sleep because they want to cut? Man, that changes everything, huh? Imagine if they got a piece of cut. Will we ever know? Let me ask everybody on here, will we ever know if the CIA somehow, FBI was involved? Not all of them, but a portion of them to take a cut. I'm not saying they're involved. Well, they are involved, because if they take a cut, then they're washing their hands. So they are involved, right? They might not be involved as far as these horrific acts with these young ladies, but they're still involved. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you. So we have 40 likes. Thank you for joining me tonight. Happy Saturday. Yes, I am back. Nice camping trip. William, hello. Boza Nova. If you're new to the channel, let us know if you feel comfortable. You're new. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys being here. $150 names up to date. There's 150 names of this Epstein in that book. And Ghislaine Maxwell says, I'm going to show. Oh, here's one more thing I want to share to everybody real quick, too. Another thing I want to share with you all is this. Ghislaine Maxwell says, I will plead the fifth. I'll plead the fifth. This is going to get messier and messier. I actually think, guys, this is going to come back and hurt the government on both sides. I don't mean like this year. I don't mean next year. I don't even mean in 2028. But I have a feeling that this will come back years from now, from this live, and really backfire on the Democrats and Republicans. It will really backfire on both sides, all the way to the Bush, on up to the Trump. I mean, people are going to say, well, Trump did this, Trump did great, he saved America. Yes, but there'll always be in people's minds, yeah, but Trump never released. It'll go back to the administration, whoever held. That's a whole nother joke, auto pen, this, that, whatever. They never did anything. It'll go back to the Bush. It'll go back to the Clinton. It'll just go back. It'll be something from our generation I'm talking years, like 8 years from now, that'll be way up on the list above John F. Kennedy. Way up on the list as the biggest cover-up ever. And I just don't know if we're going to get too many answers. I know I continue to say on August 15th, if you're just coming in, we're discussing the Epstein files, Ghislaine Maxwell, and her black book, and the releasing of the names, and the CIA getting their cut. Let's be real, they got a cut. We know that. They got a big cut. Because if they didn't get a cut, they would say, hey, then we're going to go ahead and put this out there. So they got a piece of cut. Blackmail, 100% blackmail. Because listen to this, guys. If it wasn't blackmail, why would we know what the hell happened? Why would we say, okay, it was this one, it was that one. Bill Clinton was at the island, but he didn't do it. Trump had him at Mar-a-Lago, we know about, but he wasn't involved. Bush knew about certain situations, but he wasn't involved. Just tell us. Because you know why? They know that we would look back at Bush, the Republicans, Clinton, the Democrat. Oh, he's got enough problem. Barack Obama, I forgot him. He's got enough trouble right now with the Russia. And now they'll go with Trump. Oh, it will be a distraction on Trump because Trump's moving really fast. He's done everything good, making peace. He's ready to end the war. But there'll always be that BUT. But Trump did run a part of a campaign on releasing the files. And now he's been diddy-daddy in it, back and forth. So a lot of people would think a little bit less than Donald Trump. Not everybody on here. I'm not speaking for anybody on here. I'm just saying a lot of people. I'm not even speaking for myself. I'm just giving you realistically what will happen. And I just don't know. I don't know if we're going to get any names that you guys expect. So I know everybody on here right now is expecting to hear that Trump's on there, Bill Clinton's on there, Senate leaders, Mitch McConnell's on there, and they won't even talk about Israel. The reason why is this. Well, first of all, we got peace. It's not Trump's fault. It would just demolish. It would lead into. It'd be a possibly everything that Trump is doing with the peace with Israel, and peace and trying to get Iran and peace and get rid of nukes and Middle East peace. It would be trouble it would just going forward. It'd be hectic on what would happen. The more that this goes on, the worse it will. Remember what he just said. The longer that Jeffrey Epstein lists on uncertain answers will not go away. It might go away for a week. It might even go away for a month. But the more that it doesn't come out, and we talk about Maxwell, less sentence, a possible pardon, I don't think it'll never happen, possibly house arrest. The more that talk centers Donald Trump and the Democrat Party, the more that people will not trust the government. And that scares me, because if you are a conservative right now and you are a MAGA, what's that mean for us? What that means is it can hurt us moving forward. Because unless people don't vote, it can very well swing over to somebody like a Cory Booker. I keep saying Cory Booker, right? Or even worse, AOC. I don't know who's worse. Who's worse, AOC, Cory Booker? Or even worse, Gavin Newsom. Because more people don't vote because they're pissed off at government. It could destroy our kids and our grandkids on future leader presidents at the moment, because they have nothing up their sleeve on how to bring back the moderate, so to speak, Clinton, not what he did on the side and all. Again, and you really need, that moderate Democrat Party versus a, realistically Republican Party. So when people don't vote on either sides, so we got to bring the trust back. They've lost trust. They've lost trust with this Epstein. Now, a lot of you might be coming in and say, well, Sal, I'm okay with it. That's fine. But I bet you there's a lot more people that are just upset because you can't trust the government anymore. Now, meanwhile, Trump is planning on Alaska, being in Alaska, okay, with Putin only. All right, so originally it was supposed to be, they talked about Zelensky, Trump, and Putin. But now it's going to be Putin and Trump in Alaska. And they're going to discuss on ending the war. Now, that tells me one thing. that tells me that Zelensky might be replaced. That's what that tells me. It tells me that he'll be replaced by the government. There'll be a new leader there. And, Trump has this way on making like you're winning, but you're not winning. He knows how to make like Putin's winning, but he's actually losing with territories and stuff like that. And because he's also said, I'll cripple you. See, that's the stuff I like about Trump. He's a hard hitter, Mike Tyson, right? I'll hit you hard. I'll go 75% on tariff tax. You don't know what's coming. So do the right thing. But I will talk to Zelensky. I'll talk to the new leader. I'll make sure you get 3 territories, not 2. 2, I don't think it's 2. He knows how to do. He's a businessman. I think this war will end, and that would be good. That would be very, very good for men and women who are losing their lives in this war. Be great for Ukraine, great for Russia, great for all of us. Because wars are very costly. Mike M has alluded to many times. I agree with Mike on here and other people that I come in contact with. So, we're getting very closer, and I'm still glad that we have Donald Trump as president. But I'm just telling you, both sides, what can happen with these Epsteins in the book that's out there. Now I'm going to read some comments here. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. We need to save our planet now. That's a great comment. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Yes. Yeah, we have, if you're new to the channel, if you feel comfortable, let us know where you're coming in from, which state. Let us know, if it's your first time here. Like and subscribe. We're live almost every day. Lately, we're talking about the latest topics and mass shootings and what's going on in the world weather-wise, and certainly the Epstein files, the world of Trump, the world of the Democrats failing and failing and failing. Appreciate you guys being here. Maryland says prison for Trump. All right. And then we have Rose. Rose is here. Hot in Florida. Hot in Vegas as well. Hot all over the place, huh? Summertime. We got Germany in the house. Wow. Shout out to Germany. Beautiful Germany. Prison for Obama. Will he get it, Rose? Will it go as far as putting a former president in prison? Can it happen? Remember, Trump signed. Can't do it. What do you think about Trump coming up for Epstein files? I pretty much discussed everything on this live here. What's up, Texas? Appreciate it. Northern Michigan in the house. Hello, Northern Michigan. Your, meaning me, is covering up Trump. Where are you just coming on your defense? Are you just coming in? I've just talked about pretty much where I stand on this, and I think it's pretty accurate where I'm at. How am I covering up Trump? That he hasn't been on the Epstein Island. Sandra, thank you for the membership. I don't understand it. People will not hear me, or are you just coming in? There's no evidence on any president, and I don't think there will be. That's going to be up to you guys to digest, and probably the Democrats are going to think that Trump's on there, and people are going to think that Clinton was on there. The only how things would change if one of the victims comes out and says he was there and he was there, and I have evidence and photos. And even if you have evidence and photos that they're there, does that make them guilty? When I say they, President Clinton or former President Clinton or Trump, even if they're there and they had photos, it doesn't make them guilty. The question is the CIA. They got a piece of the action. That's a shame. That's a bigger problem right there. In my opinion, maybe I have it wrong. For me, that's the bigger problem. A lot of it's blackmail. And you've seen it in crimes and mob and mafia stuff. You've seen it in drug Mexican mobs. We've seen it. You have blackmail. It's a lot of blackmail. If you don't do this, then watch your family. If you don't do this, watch your boss. It goes on in politics, guys. Wake up. It goes on. It's been going on way before we were born, right? And it just seems to me it's just getting worse. And you think, well, we got a president like Trump, and I'm still happy we have Trump, and it's still going on. Very, very bad when you're involving. It's one thing blackmail, one thing cover-ups, but when you're talking young children, in this case, women, young women at the age of 14, 15, 16, that's very sad. Very sad. And you got to look the eyes into the Republicans and Democrats all the way to Bush if you're just coming in. Jason, what's going on, Jason? Good to see you. So this was we show this many times. I've talked about this many times. That was the island there, and who the hell knows who was there? You know, we talked about famous athletes and movie stars. Who knows? You know, maybe former. Yeah, I can tell you this. Why this story disturbs me. I don't think anybody should go through this. The boys, little girls, our age, in your 20s, 30s, when it involves young ages and sex trafficking. See, if we don't set an example at this now, and also Diddy, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't set some kind of an example and give them for me, 20 years is a slap on the wrist. If we let this go without more information we have now, which is really not much, because we all know, all of us on here right now, if you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, we all know right now this. We know that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, they did not do this by themselves. Yes or no? Do you think it was just the two-man team who did this? No way. There's no way. They didn't do it by themselves. People want to know who else was there. And more, we want to know who participated. Yeah, hearing about the victims saying, well, they were rubbing my shoulders. And, you know, it's hard to hear them. I don't even want to play. It's just, to hear that's disgusting. Really, really bad. To go that low. What is wrong with our society? It's so much, this world's so upside down. And again, I wish it gets better. But unfortunately, if we don't set an example on this, when I say to set an example, I'm not saying bring down the Democrats, bring down the Republicans, but we want to, these people who did participate, I'm not saying just at the island, but if they had participated, even if they touched them, okay, if there's evidence of them touching, no, I'm not saying to get life, but if they did this, I got to tell you, if it was my daughter and I seen a hand being touched, I'll have to stop there. But they need to get time. And if they went farther than that, horrific, they should be life without parole. More than life. And I'll even go farther. Even if these young ladies that were 18, because they said there was a few adult, right? And they willingly participated. I still think they should be prosecuted. Whoever's in that book who participated, other than Maxwell. Well, we know Epstein's gone. So this is not going to go away. And I don't think, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, if I could, and I'm going to read comments, I promise. I don't think it should go away. I don't think so. I think it should stay and continue to fight back at government. You notice I said government, of the Republican and Democrats that are allegedly possible involved. I'll even go farther. Even if they're not involved about being in the island, but they knew of somebody allegedly who knew somebody that was there, I'm not saying arrest them, but they should be held responsible and should ruin their name. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see where it all goes. This is worse than, they call out mob and racketeering, and I'm not encouraging anybody, if you're young, watching it, because gangs or mob stuff, two things happen. Majority, either you're deceased or you're in prison for life. Very few get out in 20 years. But they were putting guys away for narcotics, and I'm not saying narcotics, that's serious crime. But they were getting them 30 to 40 years, racketeering life on mob guys, and so on and so forth. And it goes other gangs too. And I'm not encouraging that. They deserve it. But now this lady is going to possibility, you know what, guys? She might get it. She gets house arrest. You will imagine? I want everybody to think about this for 1 minute. Ghislaine Maxwell is getting a 20-year sentence. She served 3 years. Now she's in a camp for a lighter sentence. If they turn around and give her, just for conversation, she turns over names, and they say, okay, do 5 years at the camp. Okay, after 5 years, based on how you're doing, meaning what she gives out, right? We will give you ankle bracelet, and you're going to be in house arrest. You understand you can't vote no more? Okay. I would be pissed. I would just turn my back on government. You know, guys, I got to be honest with you. This, for me, I'm not speaking for everybody on here, guys. I am not speaking for not one person or my wife. If that would happen, if she got house arrest, I might not ever vote again. I'm so pissed off if she got that. That would bother me so much if they let that go. I would be aggravated if that would happen. It would turn my stomach. Now, I've said this before. If she gave out the names and she's telling 70% of the truth, possible give her a 5-year lighter sentence. Okay. If it's the answers that help the victims and leads us to a better situation, knowing a little bit more on people involved, I don't think you're going to come out and hear about the CIA taking the take, but maybe some politicians involved. You want to give a lighter sentence? 5 years off? I guess I'll take that. But a house arrest, no way. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I'll read some comments here. Can't trust her. No, she's a pathological liar. She's been known in she's been lying this whole time, so it's hard to trust her, right? Yes, exactly with that comment right there. Good comment. Maxwell was already done for lying under oath. Yes, that is true. Would you trust her? No, I don't trust her. But, maybe there's somehow or another is that black book that I have, and there's some different names on there. Maybe to save her ass, and maybe they could play. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody has their own opinion on here. Welcome in, team. Pam Bondi even told Trump he was, that's not true. She's never said that. So, get some correct information with that. There was nothing like that at all from Pam Bondi. Let's see here. People in power. Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? Dusty, how are you? Number 3 in the top fan. Thank you for being here. Hey, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Interesting topic. I don't think it should go away. I think the more that YouTube, bigger, large platform YouTube channels, the more that news coverage covers this with information that's they know, don't making up stuff, like making up that Trump was involved or Clinton was involved. The more that we talk about it, because it's Americans should not be defeated. We should not be defeated on this. Just like the JFK, Martin Luther King, the Great. This is different. This is enough's enough. We're in a 2025 and we're involving young ladies. Godfather in the house. What's going on, Godfather? You can get the court documents to review. Other podcasts break it down. I appreciate you guys being here today. Happy Saturday. This is where it was all right here on this island. Sandra, yes. Good comment. Appreciate the moderators, Mike and Janine, today. Thank you so much for being here. Living the dream, my friend, one nightmare at a time. Dusty says, kind of look like Mar-a-Lago. Appreciate you guys being here. I mean, it's a everybody has their thoughts, you know, on this Epstein files and Diddy as well. And if you're just coming in, there's also rumors, and a friend of mine said that there's a possibility that Trump can pardon Diddy. And I asked this earlier, should Trump pardon Diddy, yes or no? All right. Interesting comments. No, you can't, Rose. You know what? You're right. With all the AI, you got to be careful with photos too. Interesting. Good comment. We have 72 likes, guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't hit the like, please hit the like if you're enjoying the content. Let's try to get 100 likes tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate you. He would be guilty if he actually went to the island. Who are you talking about? Who is he? Trump? Clinton? When you say he, you're an absolute sicko. I'm reading comments. And crazy people, huh? Thank you, Sherry. Everybody's got to get something off their chest, huh? Robert, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support, Robert, from Canada. And God bless Canada. Mike, I got that taken care of, by the way, Mike. And if you know what I'm talking about. My friend came over, he took care of it. And Mike, I got to give him a gift card. Very nice. Didn't want anything. Didn't want anything. What a great person. Yeah. Just reading a few comments, guys. If I find one out there that makes a little sense, I'll read it. But, I mean, somebody says Trump hates Canada. Diddy was judged by a jury. Yeah. You know, I've always said this, Rose. Hey, Rose, by the way, thank you for your comments. You had some good comments. Really, I'm enjoying it. But Rose, oops. You know, Rose, I've said this many times, Rose. You have to like this. no, none of them are perfect. But if we had any Democrat, or actually I'll go farther, Rose, any president, for the exception maybe two or three I won't mention, we'd have some serious problems right now. I mean, I don't know where we'd be, but at least we got number one is the borders. And actually, I'm going to reverse this. Taking away Iran's nukes, that's big, guys. You understand? We don't know what they were going to do. Maybe they wouldn't have done anything for a couple of years, but they have potential. We knocked and destroyed them. Now, can they do it again? It'll take some time. We got the borders down. Perfect. Even my Democrat people I socialize with, perfect, right? Economy is better. I wouldn't say it's much better, but we hit an earthquake, right, with the previous administration. And we have a president who means business. He's attempting the tariff tax. Love or hate him, other presidents have talked about it. Clinton, Bush, even Pelosi. They never did anything. They were always worried about their legacy. He's doing all this. Now he's talking about a rebate check, possibly $600 to $1,000 on taxpayers. You know, on a refund, meaning from the tariffs revenue. And you got to give him credit for trying. Now, you know, it's hurt my business right now. It can hurt, but I rather long term, I know it's going to be good for our future. So with all these things he's done, making peace, you know, everybody said, oh, he loves Israel. He's in bed with Israel. No, he's not. He knows how to handle Netanyahu. He knows he doesn't trust him, but he plays the game. He knows exactly what he's doing. If we would have somebody like a Cory Booker or AOC, God forbid, or even Kamala Harris, or any of these extreme, we'd be in some serious trouble. All of us, our kids, going forward. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to have a decent Democrat in the next 12 years, because it probably will take that much time. We probably will, and we might look back and say, well, they were a pretty good Democrat, right? You know, they might be better than Trump. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. Let's be realistic. Maybe it'll change. And this is why Trump is doing this. Because Trump, guys, let's be honest. I hear other channels, YouTube, MAGA, oh, the Democrat Party's done forever. I even say it. It's not done forever, right? They're going to come back. But what Trump is doing is saving our ass, because you will not ever have a Democrat run by a Biden who was sleeping the whole administration, that was run by different people, committee, and donors. You will not have a Barack Obama again. By the way, he was not a good president. All right, so back to back, we have, you know, they could, what we're going to be witnessing now with some of these new younger names of these AOC and Cory Bookers, and possibly Newsom, it would destroy us, guys. We would be we'd be shut down for different things, a mosquito bite. They would be running our grocery stores, telling us when we can go to bed, when we can sleep. It'd be horrible. Seriously, you guys are laughing. Now, you get the right Democrat in there with straightening out the issues. I'm down the road. I might even vote for him. And I think that's what Trump is saving. Trump will be way gone. I'm talking like 10 years, 14 years from now. He's saving democracy. He's saving both sides. China is shutting down for mosquitoes right now. Oh, I'm serious. I mean, do you guys trust? I mean, I don't trust them. Imagine shutting down this nation again for mosquito bites. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back. Mike, Janine, be right back. Spilled some soda. I was careless. I spilled some soda before my wife sees it. Clean it up. Be right back, guys. I was careless over here. Oh, God. Okay, I apologize, guys. I had to clean up some soda. All right, I'm going to read some more comments. Hey, we got 88 likes. Thank you so much. I just want to see something here. Top here. We got Mike at number 5. Billy, Neo. I'm just checking out this top fan here. Lemon J, how are you? Appreciate you being here. Oh my God, another mega. Let us know if you're new. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We're live every day. At the end of the day, we help out the homeless when we can on this channel. Thank you. Thank you. Emily Love says, you look like a used car salesman. How's your day, Lemon J? Appreciate you guys being here on this Saturday. As you can see, I am back from camping. Today's topic, we're at the very end of our live here. Just going over some of my thoughts and where I think is going to happen with the Epstein and much, much more in Diddy. Elon, what's that about Elon? I wish Elon would come back. Love what he did for us. Yeah, he did some good things. No notifications. Sorry. Wow. And you got all notifications set. Sinatra vibes. Oh, I was going to ask you, he's a poker dealer? Where at? Vegas? Hello, Laura. He's buying time to hide the fall. All I know is this, guys, as I'm reading some comments here and I got quiet, all I know is this. This is the biggest, in my opinion, it's just my opinions. I said before that John F. Kennedy was the biggest cover-up. This is the biggest cover-up for both parties. Frank Eagle, hello. Republican, Democrat, go all the way back to Bush too, ever. Because it's involving children, and it went from administration, handed off, it went from Republican to Democrat to Democrat to Democrat to Republican, and you know, it makes you more and more not to trust the government, the presidents, the both sides, CIA getting their part, and so on and so forth. Because there's no doubt in my mind that the CIA got a big piece, and blackmail was definitely involved in this. And now, if you're just coming in, we have victims that are speaking out. Victims that are coming out. Because why? The story is back. And why? These women who are 14 now are 18, 20, 22 years old. And they want justice, you know, and they should get it. Because I've said this at the beginning of our broadcast, if it was your daughter, God forbid, or your granddaughter, or your niece, or somebody like that, you would be pissed. And you want justice. You wouldn't care if they're a Democrat. You wouldn't care if they were Trump. You wouldn't care if they were Bill Clinton. You wouldn't care. I'm just saying names. You won't care when it comes to that. You want justice. And why not? And that's even for the ones who, there's rumors that some of these women, some, were willing to participate. But even so, we should get justice. Imagine that. Going to Northern Europe and the States and getting these young ladies, they're on the streets maybe, and taking them away from the families. Ghislaine Maxwell rubbing their shoulders, according to one of the victims, massaging them, recruiting them, paying for them to come to that island there. That's there. That island. And you heard them say these men coming with suits and from different areas and different languages. That means other languages. Israel. We hear Israel. We hear it a lot. The Prime Minister of Israel, not Netanyahu, but the previous one. Could be a Spanish language. Could have been an Italian language. Could have been different languages. You know, it's horrible. We got to remember this, guys. That's why this needs to be out there. We should not forget about the victims. The more podcasts and broadcasts and news outlets report the Epstein information, documents, lists, whatever the hell you want to call it, it should be always there. For the first time ever, guys, hit the like if you like this content. First time ever, can we actually not be lied to? Wow, somebody just beat me. For the first time ever, should we get information? We've been lied to many times. Most recently, pandemic. Most recently. I don't mean lied in the sense that we know how bad it was. I'm talking lying on how the hell it spread so quickly. The shutdown. How this was open now. How it was all orchestra. With money coming our way. Trying to, more deficit and so on and so forth. We've been lied over and over and over. And now lied again. Both sides. And people who trust Trump, who still do. I'm not talking for everybody on here, guys. I'm not talking for my mega. So I'm talking for myself. Once you finally trust somebody, now you start losing doubt. And I'm not saying it all means, in my mind, Trump is, in my mind, he's not guilty. But you start judging how much he knew. Who was he defending? The Democrat. That's right, I said Democrat. The Republicans. And the Democrats not talking about Trump because they knew Trump wasn't involved. But they knew there were certain Democrats involved. It's a game. They're protecting their party. Republicans protecting their party. Maybe Trump's protecting one or two. Let's be honest on here. And it just pisses you off. It's like, well, what do we do? Who do we trust? Who do we trust in 28? I know we got a little time. What's going to happen? Who do we vote for? Do we not vote? Do we vote? Do we go? What do we do? Are we going to trust this one? I see some names. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio. Do we trust them after? This is a big deal. This is a bigger deal. Now, this isn't a big deal to everybody. I'm not speaking for all my mega. I'm just speaking on my view. So it's something that needs to develop. We should know a little bit what's going on. Kind of remember when I was younger, and my grandfather, may rest in peace, both of them. I can remember them hearing about it a little bit. Don't trust the government. Haven't you guys heard it? Don't trust the government. Don't trust the government. They didn't say Democrat, Republican back then. Don't trust the government. They're hiding. They're hiding. And here we thought that, okay, we're in the right situation. I still think we are, guys. I still think we are with Trump as far as making peace, protecting our borders. All that's A+. Thank God. But I'm saying in this situation with the files and stuff, it's just my opinion, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I don't think this should go away. Hopefully other bigger podcasts talk about it and give their views, and then everybody can take it in. But it doesn't matter if you agree with me or disagree. I don't care. I think it needs to be out there. If you watch Joe Rogan, if you watch whoever, CNN, Fox, as long as it doesn't go to sleep, as long as that's out there, and we can keep pushing them, both sides, hammering them back and forth, just maybe for the first time ever, we'll get a little information. I'm just saying, just for the first time ever, we might get that much more information on the Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy. And I'm going to say it one last time. Diddy should not get a pardon from Donald J. Trump or Maxwell. Not at all. It would change everything, and I've talked to big MAGA supporters behind closed doors. It would change everything. It would change everything. When I say change everything, I don't mean change on how we're heading in a direction. I'm saying it would change the legacy of Donald Trump going forward if one or two get a pardon. I don't see it happening. Although a source of mine said today there's a chance that Diddy could. And I said, well, it don't make sense. He goes, yes, it does. And I said, how? Why would he do that? He said, well, Sal, think about it. I said, go ahead, I'm listening. He said, well, here's the deal. If Diddy gets pardoned, it takes the distraction from Ghislaine Maxwell. He goes, and he's going to end this war because he's going to be meeting with Putin in Alaska. I said, oh, yeah, I see that happening. Well, if he pardons Diddy, it takes all this on Democrat, I said, okay, and Republicans, and switch all of the attention to Diddy. And that breaks out. And then all of a sudden, the Ghislaine Maxwell goes away, Epstein goes away. You don't see it anymore. You won't see Epstein Files on here or anybody else's podcast, right? It'll kind of go away. I'm like, oh shit. I said, but I wouldn't like that. I said, I would lose respect for Trump because, yeah, a lot of us would. So that was his, I can't say his name, but that's what he said to me earlier this morning. And I know you guys, have anybody else heard that? I think I've read this before. Did anybody else hear that there's a possibility that Trump would pardon Diddy? Anybody else hear that? Terry from Alabama's in the house. I just don't see Trump doing it. I'm not saying that this friend of mine is making it up or maybe heard it. I couldn't see that happening. And not because Diddy, remember, Diddy was a supporter of Trump and then he wasn't a supporter of Trump. It has nothing to do with that. I just don't think Trump can do that. Maybe. 5D chess. Let's see here what we got. All right. Let me read this Diddy here. Let's see here. Diddy was prosecuted by the same liberal judge that Trump was, all corrupted judge. All right. When Trump first took office, he said he might pardon Diddy, but it depends on the charges. Let's see here. That was a very bad president, Rose. I will say this, Barack Obama, to your comment. Not as bad as the previous administration, but pretty bad. I'll read a few more comments, guys. Liberty Bell, welcome in. Appreciate it. Yeah, he was not a good president. He's second to last, third to last, whatever. Carter. Yeah, it makes sense, right, Lemon J? If you think about it, it takes, once you open up if a pardon does happen, you know how media is and how the minds are. It takes off of the one topic onto another one. You know, it's pretty big. Both are big. And anytime you're dealing with young children and sex trafficking and that kind of stuff, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, well, I still don't think Rose, I don't think he was a president. I think it was run by Elizabeth Warren, and Jill Biden and Barack Obama. I think a bunch of people had their hands on that pen. I think Biden was president for the first 6 months. That was it. And he's been in office since 1972 and he's done nothing. Yeah, when you're dealing with kids and sex trafficking, I mean, if Diddy would get pardoned by Trump, it could possibly let the Epstein kind of like go away for a little bit. That's 100% true, Sandra. Yes. Trump there's no evidence at all as far as Donald Trump and allegations of him being on an island or being with young ladies, okay? The only things that are true at this point is this. There was several, I believe 3 to 5 times, maybe more, with Trump and his wife and family member in his house in Mar-a-Lago with Jeffrey Epstein and this piece of shit, both pieces of shit, Maxwell. They were there multiple times having dinner and cocktails. Not Trump, he doesn't drink. And that's about it. And once Trump found out that this information and the island you see here behind me, I know it's moving a little bit. Once they found out about it, Trump closed the door on Epstein. Closed the door. You're not coming back. You're done. And that's what we know. And on the other side, Bill Clinton, there's evidence that he was there. But it still doesn't mean that Bill Clinton is guilty. And I've said this multiple times, you know. You have to have some photos. Has to be some kind of proof on there. So now if these children that are young adults now who come out and they say, for an example, we've seen Bill Clinton there. We've seen Trump looking or doing these horrific things, then even that, you would need some kind of, there has to be evidence. Can't just be, the names, or it have to be some kind of video, photos of some kind. I've said this multiple times. And I don't think you're going to see it. And, God forbid, there was a sitting president or governor or senator or somebody like that, they're probably going to cover it up. I'm just being real. They're probably going to cover it up. And that's for Republican or Democrat. They would probably cover it up, unfortunately. And that upsets me. I'm saying if there's anybody, like I just said, we don't know. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank you so much. We had 103 likes. Thank you so very much. Thank you for all the support up in the mountains. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy. If you're off tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're off, live in the moment. I feel that America needs justice. The victims, in reverse order, they need answers. The families are speaking out if they're coming in late. And I believe when it comes to children, whether it's Diddy or in this case we're talking about Maxwell, because she is alive in Texas in a camp. I said this over and over. She should not get any lighter sentence unless she gave out some really high-end names and then maybe take off a few. I don't believe any pardon should be done by Donald Trump. If he does, it would ruin his legacy in my view. All right. This story should not go away. I think it should be talked about and beat up, so to speak, punish the government for one time in our life. Let us get some of the truth that goes behind closed doors. Now, we don't need to know everything for obvious reasons. We don't need to know if there's, what's up Trump's sleeve on possibly like what happened with Iran. Remember, he said a week or two and he did it. We don't need to know every detail. And I don't think we should. But when it comes to these big cover-up involving young children and possibility of a former prime minister of Israel, even if he was there, that should not be covered up. And blackmail, that stuff should not be covered up. Never, ever. Things like that should never, ever be covered up. Not just sex trafficking in young children. Anything like that. Former presidents being assassinated like John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King. These things should be talked about. And with that, I say, all I can say is hope for the best, and just some crazy way, maybe if the pressure's on them, we put the backs against the wall, maybe we'll get some information. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm Sal. Appreciate you guys coming in. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate all the moderators, Janine today and Lemon J. I don't know who else. Mike M. Thank you, Mike. And anybody else, if I missed you, I haven't seen you. Thank you so much for the support, donations on these lives to make it possible. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate it. We help out the homelessness. Who are we? Everybody that's on here by liking and subscribing. And me and my wife and my daughter are out there trying to make homeless awareness and fighting homeless and being optimistic that Trump is already implemented to the states now, that we're going to get these homeless off the street, make sure we give notice, get them off into a place, not a rehab, but more like mental health, and work on them getting better. That's what we do on here. Thank you so very, very much. I will see you guys. Any kind of breaking news, let's hope there's no breaking news, but if there's any kind of breaking news between now and later on, I'll come live to cover it. The Epstein files should be covered at least once a week. I will see you great people on the next live, probably tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Be kind to somebody once in a while, and I'll see you on the next. God bless. Take care, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hey, Fabian, take care, guys. Have a beautiful night. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and God bless. And Fabian, my deepest prayers, who we discussed the other night. Thank you. High five, fist bump. Take care. I'll see you. Have a good night, Sandra. Great comments tonight. Thank you so much. Right back to you, Raymond. All right, Jeff, take care. Take care, guys.